even for getting a PhD, they put so much hurdle. I mean, if one has to find a professor as a guide, and nobody picks up some student as to be, nobody agrees to become a guide for a student, then he or she can't get a PhD. So, whereas you should have had a criteria that, okay, you publish 3 or 4 papers without any guide or whatever, and you get a PhD essentially, then that should have been better. So here, to get a degree, you have to first get admission, and the admission is limited only to so many people. Now, many of those who are left out should be able to study the thing on their own, or form a student, study circle, or go to a tutor, or go to a coaching center, or go to a cheap college, and whatever way they should be able to pass the test. And the test should be available, can be made available every day of the year. It doesn't have to be once a year or twice a year thing. So what I propose essentially is that whoever is making, first of all, we would like to have most of the weight for any test given to the objective types, because there is less chance of the cheating and all that kind of thing. It can be held in a closely monitored place. And so I prefer objective type to have more weight, and there will be essay type also that will have less weight. So there will be a committee that will form the objective type questions, but not one set for 1 year. Have 50 sets for whatever. Then at random, any student can be given a set, and he or she can be evaluated on the basis of that. If he passes, the evaluation will take just seconds, right? Then if he passes, then he's eligible to be tested in the essay type, and for which cannot be evaluated so fast. So, but there can be more times than current once or twice. And each subject, they should be able to pass one by one. It doesn't have to be, they don't have to have single exam for so many subjects at one time. So they should have a set of requirements that you have to pass so many subjects by the end of the year, or whenever. So whenever you finish so many subjects, you are entitled to get a degree. So a person will choose one by one and pass various tests one by one, objective type.
Is this followed anywhere across the world?
Yes, it is followed, let's say, in the Microsoft certification. You can take those tests anytime you are prepared to, but the same system can be utilized here. Now, many of the, after all, even for many admission things, like IIT admissions, it's basically objective, but they hold it only once a year. However, and because exactly the same set is given to all students, so hence there is a lot of there's need for a lot of security and all that. But if it was decided that any of the 50 sets, the score for that would be treated on par. So true that the 50 sets will not have exactly the same degree of difficulty, but any mode is not measuring your ability absolutely accurately. So that should be allowed. And once that is accepted, then even for the IIT G and the joint thing could be, they could allow, okay, you take a test any day you feel like, and you should be able to repeat the test if you didn't perform well. And then at the time of admission, they will decide among the best scores. So it doesn't have to be exactly the same set. As long as 50 different sets are treated on par. So the score on the basis of that. So and then all these 50 sets could be put on a CD, and CD can be available to everybody. It can be put also on the web. So so it can be, that CD can be used by student to evaluate himself or herself. It can be used by the teacher to evaluate, as a teaching aid, and it can be used by admission people to give admission to some. Then it can be used by the certification agency to give certificates. So I think this kind of a system would universalize education for all.
No need reservation also.
Yes. Uh,
You don't want to have a reservation also. No need reservation in this.
there is no need for reservation in this. I mean, well, if there exists an institution which is regarded, okay, its teachers are great, they can, teach you to pass this exam better than any other institution, then yeah, sure, why not reservation in that? But what I'm saying is that there will be no such maramari, no such big competition to get into that institution. If IIT was giving exam which was open to anybody going to any other college, then there will be no such rush for people to get admitted into IIT. And I'm sure for every individual graduating from IIT, there must be tens of individuals who would have passed the same exam and done better than the worst on the IIT roles. So and they couldn't pass the admission test, so they would not get the IIT label. But why shouldn't anybody be able to appear for the IIT exam? And if that were so, if it is opened, then there would be no rush, not so much rush to go to IIT. Okay, they didn't accept me, but I can learn the same thing otherwise and appear in the same exam. And once I pass that with flying colors, then whoever attended the IIT, that's not of much value.